Hi guys, welcome to your mats. Today's practice is more of an advanced practice. If you haven't already done some warm-ups, maybe pause this and do a few warm-ups now, and then we're going to start together. We will start slow and build up, but it's a pretty airy practice, so we're going to flow and move. Everything obviously is consistent with your breath, so start to breathe now. And step up to the front of your mat, come to Tadasana, feet together, hands beside your hips, and stand up nice and tall. Breath in, we'll sweep up Urdhva Hastasana. Take a long breath out, arms wide, swan dive forward to Uttanasana. Take it slow, mindful breathing. Inhale, long straight back, pull your shoulders away from your ears. And then exhale, lightly step your right foot all the way to your back, or the back of your mat. Inhale, open your left arm up to the sky. On an exhale, windmill up, land in warrior two. As you breathe in, flip your front palm, reverse goddess. Slow breath, slow mindful movement. Exhale, windmill to your mat. Step back to high plank and then chaturanga. Notice you can leave your left foot lifted if you want. Inhale up to Urdhva Mukha, upward facing dog. On your exhale, tuck your toes, lower abdomen pulls in to draw you back to Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Press your heart back towards your knees. Maybe an inhale is going to bring you forward to your tippy toes, and an exhale might rock you back to down dog. An inhale might bring you a little bit further forward, right up onto the balls of your feet. Exhale pulls back, downward facing dog. Our next breath in moves us all the way forward into high plank. This time lower your knees, drop your legs, open your heart, maybe lift your chin up. The deep cobra, focus on your lower abdomen now, tuck your toes, exhale, draw your bottom back and up to downward facing dog, mindful movement. Right foot steps forward. As you breathe in, you'll open up your right arm to the sky. And then as we exhale, we'll spin up and land in Virabhadrasana, B Warrior 2. Inhale, flip and reverse your goddess. Back hand to back knee, don't come out of the front leg. Exhale, windmill your hands to your front leg. Step your back foot this time all the way up to the front of your mat. Your inhale catches your half lift. Your exhale bows you down deeply. Together we roll to stand all the way through your spine. So a breath in will lift your shoulders, and the exhale will roll your shoulders back. Continue. Inhale, sweep high, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow down, Uttanasana. This time, try the transition. Inhale, half lift, move your weight onto your hands and lightly slip your feet back. Exhale. Inhale, your heart goes up. Exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. It's here where we start to pause for a little bit of air through your spine. Bend your hips over to one side and then swap to the other. Now, find some continuous movement here. So it's kind of like a little rocking and rolling through your spine, your legs, bending a knee, straightening the other. You might even start to move your weight forward, more into a high plank position and all the way back, because this movement is going to take us into our next transition. So just find that swinging of the body, of the hips, the shoulders, and then from here you might start to move your weight forward more into a high plank position. And from that high plank position, we're going to pull back, bend your knees to the left, left hand draws back. Inhale, lift into a side plank. Your top arm is just dripping lightly, maybe in front or behind. You can always lift it up, but create this arc or C shape with the body and breathe. Find the strength, press into the earth to lift your hips up and out. Maybe look up if you want another challenge. And then very lightly turn your eyes back down to your mat, hands lightly lower, breathe out through the chaturanga. Inhale, lift your heart high. Exhale, pull back. Opposite side, knees to the right, right hand draws back along the earth. And again now, as you find this arc or C shape with the hips, your top arm you choose can drip or lift. That final challenge, you might look all the way up over your top shoulder, and then lightly you'll bring your eyes back down to your mat, and together we'll breathe out through a controlled high to low. Inhale through the back bend. Exhale, draw back to downward facing dog. It's here where we'll pause for a deep breath in. Exhale all your air out, bend your knees, prepare, and then lightly jump to your hands. Breath in, half lift. Exhale, bow down, Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep all the way up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Samastitihi, Tadasana. Get your breath, stand up tall, and we move again. Inhale, sweep high. Exhale, swan dive forward. Transition, inhale to hands. Exhale, float your feet back. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, pull back, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Inhale, send your right leg to the sky. Breathe out here. Keep your hips level. And then as you breathe in, we'll draw your right knee into your heart. As we breathe out, side plank. Take your right leg under your left. Open your left arm up. Core on. Exhaling. And then as we breathe in, we draw your knee back into chest. Send it up to the sky. Notice your lower foot's on the ball of the foot. And then lightly bending your top knee, lifting your right hand off your mat, come down and land. Inhale, lift your hips up, open your heart back bend. Exhale, sit down lightly, inhale, lift back up, and this time draw your right leg up and over and step it up to where your left hand would be. Windmill up and over, warrior two. And then we take extended side angle. Right elbow to your right knee, left arm over your head. If you want, your top arm might reach behind, and you can have a little half bind. If you'd prefer a full bind, of course you can take that. But this is a lovely lengthening opening for the side of your body. Legs are engaged. As you breathe in, extend your left arm up to the sky. And then as we breathe out, chaturanga, right foot might lift off the ground. Inhale through your back bend. Exhale to pull back to downward facing dog before we move to the left side. Inhale, left leg up, hips are level. Pause here for your breath out, heart pressing back. Then as you breathe in, draw your left knee into your heart, and the breath out takes your right arm up, left arm underneath, abdomen is on to keep this leg lifted. Lift your hips high, and then very lightly, hand to mat, extend your left leg back up to the sky. Lower foot lifted up to the ball of the foot, this deep split pose. Bend your top knee, and then lightly flipasana, all the way over, left hand lifts. Inhale up to the back bend. Exhale, lower your hips. Inhale, lift up, and this time the back foot or your left foot's going to pop up or hop up and over and step all the way up next to the right hand where the left hand would be. Windmill up and over to warrior two, and we take extended side angle. Any variation you want. You can stick with me, elbow on knee, maybe the top arm taking a half bind, or you might prefer to take a full bind. Again, that's totally up to you. Heart is open. Inhale, if you're with me, extend your right arm up, and then exhale, windmill your hands to your mat, high to low. The breath in will catch the back bend. The breath out finds down dog. Breath in and out. Bend your knees. Look forward. Jump lightly to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bow down. Breathe in, sweep all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastiti. Another breath in, sweep high, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, swan dive down, Uttanasana. Remember the transition. Inhale, transition. Exhale, feet lightly back. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, this time 2-knee bend, left side, left arm pulls back, and you land in a scissor leg side plank. Continuous movement with the left arm, and then go to the right side. Right arm, continuous movement, legs are in scissors. Now there's the chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, pull back, down dog. We go back to the flow. Back to the flow. Inhale, right leg lifts all the way up to the sky. Exhale, knee comes to nose. Right leg under left arm, open up to side plank. Then allow the exhale to pull you back in. Inhale, extend the right leg up. Lower foot on tippy toe. Exhale, bend the top knee, land lightly, sit down. Inhale, hips high, open the heart. Exhale, lift the leg, step the right foot to the right little finger, and then breathe in, lift your heart. Exhale, lower your heart. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, sink. Last time to come up. And then exhale to get low. Now you can hang here. The option I'm showing is where you start to slip your right arm underneath the right leg, and you can wiggle the right leg forward so legs land in a split pose with your chest on the ground, right arm under the leg. You might be able to see it better when we get to the other side, but you can work any variation here. So you can just stay low in the hips, or you can go a little deeper here into this split variation. Lightly, start to wiggle yourself back up, and then sweep your right leg all the way around to the back of your mat. Pull your heart to up dog, and then bottom back to down dog. We're going to move to the left side, of course. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Transition, leg underneath the right arm. Right arm comes up to the sky. Lightly pull the knee back in and extend your leg back to sky. Bend the top knee, come down, lightly land, and then breath in, lift the hips high. Open your heart. When you're ready, we're going to drop down. Inhale, come back up. Lift the left leg up and over. Step it all the way up to the front of your mat, fingertips. Lower your heart. Lower your back leg. If you want to go through the flow, you can. I come early into this split variation just so you can get a look at it. If you want to play with it a bit more, then you can take your time and play with this. So you see the left arm is underneath the left leg. Just work the variation that works for your hamstring. Don't break your hamstrings with this. Lightly, we're going to transition. So you rotate the left leg all the way around. And this time, you might like to be with me as you Bhujangasana and press your weight forward into a big cobra pose. Come down to the belly. Inhale, maybe you'll lift into a deeper back bend up dog. And exhale, we'll pull back to downward facing dog. The transitions are up to you. You can join me or not. Breath in, breath out. Bend your knees, look forward. Step or jump. Ashtavakrasana into an arm balance. You can step or jump forward and sit down and play with Ashta, or you can join me, jump through, and then maybe transition through Ekapada, Kundinyasana to the Vinyasa. You know what's happening next side. You can pause, you can play, or you can be with me and you can try the transition. You can maybe jump through left side Ashtavakrasana. Take your time. If you're hanging here, stay here, or you can pull that lower leg through and maybe play around with Ekapada. Whenever you're ready, you can join me through the Vinyasa as we pull back to downward facing dog again. Lower down to your knees. You can sit in Caesar pose for a minute, catch your breath. Whenever you're ready, we're transitioning through Shishasana, headstand. So again, this is up to you as a practitioner on how much of this you want to do. If you need to come down and rest at any time, you can come down and rest, but we're going to do a few different options with Shishasana. We're going to be up here for around about 3 minutes or so. If you need to use a wall, you can use a wall. Just be careful. Remember, don't fall on anything near you, especially tables and chairs. They're not that much fun. Take your time to come up. Those of you that are already up and with me, engage your legs. You might start to bring your ankle joints together and create this almost oneness with the two legs. You might press into the ground and press out of the ground. Lift your shoulders off of your ears. And then find your breath. Notice if you can slow your breath down, or rather if the pace of your breath is picked up. Notice it, recognize it, and see if you can slow it down. If you want to come with me and try a variation, you might start to cross the right knee over the left. Try some eagle legs and then try to crunch your knees down towards your chest. This requires more abdominal work. And whenever you're ready, you can start to extend your legs back up and maybe transition, pause in the middle. And then you might swap and cross the left leg over the right leg, eagle legs. And again, slowly you can crunch your knees down to your chest. Notice the core. You might notice the wobble, that balancing. As you're ready, you can lift your legs back up. If you want to come with me, we're going to take a split variation, a wide leg straddle, and take your legs out to the sides. Letting your legs start to move in this circle motion, a rotation. So you're going to find this in the abdomen again. So the right leg might sweep all the way around to the left and the left leg to the right. You might swap, move to the other side, transitioning, kind of like you're moving your legs like this orbit around the world. It's quite cool, really, when you start to find your abdomen muscles. You can, again, be in any transition that you want, or you might be staying with me. Slowly, we're going to come back to the center. Lift your legs back to the sky. Pause there. And then you might bring your legs down to an L shape and pause again. So you might be able to see your toes, catch your breath, 5 breaths. Notice the weight transition. You've got to take your bottom back and over your shoulders. And then lightly we're going to start to lower your feet, breath by breath, maybe to hover off the ground, and then lightly to come down and land in child's pose. Hands beside your hips, forehead to mat. Relax your shoulders now, they're pouring forward and down. Big deep breaths. Stretch your hands forward. Look forward, chest low, Bhujangasana your way back to your belly so that we can go into our twist. Those of you that know practice with me, you'll be in this twist already. Otherwise, right knee out, left arm underneath you, and then spin and open the right arm up to the sky. When you're ready, transition to the other side. Left knee out in line with the hip, right hand on top of your left knee. Right arm over the top for the twist. Come back to your belly, hands underneath your shoulders. As you breathe in, squeeze your elbows in. And then as you breathe out, you might like to start to move some shoulder rotations, right to left, backward, forward. You might lift your chest up a little way, maybe into a cobra pose. You might ground your hands, press your lower abdomen like we did at the beginning. And then come back into a wide leg child's pose, bottom down to your heels. Hands beside your hips. Breathe in. Breathe out. Together, very slowly, draw your hands under your shoulders and then start to roll yourself up. Take yourself forward, hands shoulder width distance, tuck your toes. Bottom to downward facing dog. Really find your feet, your foundations, and your hands here. Breathe in and out. Right leg lifts up to the sky. Now the hip rotation. Take your right leg all the way over. We transition to Ekapada Kundinyasana. Land the right leg over the right elbow and lift your left leg off the ground. Slowly step back. Transition through upward facing dog and down dog. The left side happens here. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, find this rotation in the hip. Move your weight forward and then lightly breathe in and lift. Back leg up. Your transition, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. We're going to come down to land on your bottom. Take a sip of air in. Breathe out. Bend your knees. Look forward. Lightly jump through. Sit down. Land your feet. Roll back and down. Back bend time. Get yourself set up. Bridge your wheel pose as you're ready. You can lift straight up into wheel. If you're playing with drop backs or kickovers or anything, that's totally up to you. You might want to play around with that stuff now. Otherwise, you can stay with me, either in bridge or wheel. Find the foundations. We're coming back to foundations here as we find the finishing touches of our practice together. Legs engaged. Whenever you're ready, lightly lower back down to your mat. Check that your feet are still hip width distance, knees pointing forward. As you're ready, second back bend, any variation you want. If you're in wheel and you want to take a leg up to the sky, or even bridges can do that. If you want to maybe try wheelers lifting one hand off the ground at a time. You might even like to try a totally different variation. When you've had enough, you can come down. We're going to lift for a third and final back bend. This one's totally up to you. Wherever you want to go with this back bend, the choice is yours. Ground your feet. Breath in, lift your hips up, and then land. Find it. Hold it. Have 3 breaths in your back bend. Notice if your breath is labored. And we use an exhale to lightly lower your shoulders down and roll all the way back down through your spine. You can catch your breath in and out. And then you'll move lightly into Ananda Balasana, aka Happy Baby. Remember the lower back area, the focal point, lower back down. When you're ready, cross your ankles, transition through a vinyasa, breathing the whole time. Downward facing dog, inhale your right leg to the sky. Exhale, right knee, right little finger, Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Pigeon pose, settle into your hips. You might check your back leg. And then as you inhale, find your fingertips, open your heart, look up. And as we exhale, we find a little flow, lightly lowering your heart over your front leg. Inhale for the back bend, look up, maybe even tuck your tail. Exhale, flow. Last one, inhale, lift your heart, look up. Exhale, bow down and settle into your hips. You'll have a few breaths, and then of course, as always, we're transitioning into a deeper option and then a little twist. But for this moment, see if you can relax your lower back region. When you're ready, walk your hands in and then rotate your left leg all the way around over your right so that we move into Ardha Matsyendrasana, a seated twist. Ground your hips, right arm up and over the left knee. If you bind, go for the bind. Lower abdomen, the focal point once again. Pull it in on the exhale and see if you can twist further. As you're ready, release back to front and then transition through a vinyasa. Inhale, lift your heart to up dog, exhale to down. Left leg inhales to the sky. Exhale, left knee, left little finger, pigeon pose. Check your back leg as you settle to your fingertips and into your hips. Breath in will lift your heart. Breath out will float you down. Inhale to flow up. Exhale to fold. Last time, big sip of air. Open your heart, maybe lift your chin. And you know where to go on the exhale. Bow down. Same as last time. Before you transition, get stillness here. Settle into your seat. This space that sometimes maybe we choose or we just forget about. Breath in, lift your heart. Breath out, rotate your right leg all the way around over your left, ready to settle in for your seated twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Your left elbow can just hang over your right knee and leverage the twist, or you can go for the bind if your shoulders are ready. You know, you can always use a towel or a strap between your hands too if you're working on the bind. Look over your right shoulder. Remember your lower abdomen. And then when you're ready, spin yourself back to the front. And this time, maybe bow down into a forward fold. Engage your feet, protecting your knees, but you're bowing down here. to relax and release your nervous system here at the end of our practice. You might swap cross legs or swap what leg was on top, and again bow down over your legs. Let your torso pull forward and down. Your feet are engaged. Let your breath relax a little. Next, inhale. Come up to seated. Bring the soles of your feet together in a Baddha Konasana or a diamond leg shape. This is sealing up our practice. The Sushumna Nadi is what our focal point is now, so maybe just your spinal column. You could interlock your hands around the outside edges of your feet. Engage your feet. Start to draw your knees down towards the earth. And just sit upright. Shoulders can pull down. If you want to turn this into a forward fold, you can. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to move to our final resting to Shavasana. So make your final adjustments to settle in, lay down. Maybe you can mentally go in and relax your muscles and rest your bones now. I'll let you know when it's time for us to move again. Whenever you're ready, you might start to move your fingers and your toes. You might rock your head from side to side or take a full body awakening yawn. And as you're ready, you can roll over to your favorite side. Maybe pause just for a minute. Try to keep your eyes downcast or closed. And lightly, as you're ready, you can come up and join me in a comfortable seated position. Have a lovely day. Namaste.